Best of luck here. I'm Frankie MacDonald. You're listening to Comedeorological Report with Joey only.
Frankie, the weatherman. Frankie, the weatherman. Who? Frankie. Who? Frankie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie!
When I got out here this morning.
It's still my property!
Well, this is snow, and if you think you're going to keep snow off of all your
You don't
property...
put your snow on my property!
This is not my snow.
Yes,
this
it
is
is.
not your snow.
This is my property!
This is the snow.
It doesn't matter!
Oh,
this is
calm
my
down.
property!
Why are you being
don't
such an
blow
asshole?
your snow on my property! You don't put any snow that was where you were on my property!
Okay, Gary. You've scared me now. I'm a lunatic. Look at yourself.
You're the lunatic for covering this up!
You want to see a picture of it that I
You
took this
are blowing
morning?
your crap up here! You don't blow snow up here!
So your yard should be completely snow-free, right?
It is snow-free!
Because you're Gary, right?
It is snow-free all the way back to there!
Okay, well, this wasn't clear.
Yes, it was cleared! It was cleared at 11 a.m.
Can you yell a little bit louder so everyone in the neighborhood
I
can hear
don't
you?
give a who the hell hears it!
Really? Okay. Well, then go ahead, yell louder. I have my hat on, so it's protecting my ears.
You don't blow it here anymore!
Okay, sir. Oh, okay. I won't touch your garbage can. I'm sorry I touched your garbage can. Oops. All right.
You're a psychopath.
I'll tell Chris I was trying to do something nice for him.
you weren't.
And you came out here. What, you think I'm clearing off that garage for me? Look at it, dumb.
Put it here!
Where should I put it?
I don't know where, but you don't do it here!
You tell me,
I don't
Your
know
Highness. Tell me where to put it. Show me.
where. Not here!
Okay.
Where?
Okay. I threw a piece of cardboard in your recycle bin, and you took it out and put it on the hood of my
That's where it
car.
belongs.
Because you don't want recycling to happen on your behalf for a piece of cardboard?
You have your own can!
No, I don't. Why are you yelling?
So where's all the other guys?
They'll come along. Sorry that I totally fell asleep and woke up and it said 5 after 7. Oh no, the radio show. What am I
Did you hear
doing?
about that? Facebook is banned. Facebook is banned in China, Iran, Syria, North Korea.
I see that Facebook has banned Imogen.
Over in Iran. Facebook is banned over Iran altogether. Google's banned over there.
Bet you they're better off for it.
Cuba doesn't allow Google at all.
Who else? Where else?
Over in some of those countries in the Middle East. Western culture is completely banned in Iran.
Is Russia going to invade Ukraine?
Don't know yet. Michael Senikoff is in Ukraine.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
Could be worse. Has been worse. Well, because you guys are dragging me down. You guys keep... Well, every time I get done with the 7-day, you guys are like, oh, gosh. Oh. Every time. Doesn't matter what time I come on. 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and then you expect me to be chipper for 5 straight hours. It's miserable. I want you guys to say, wow, that's great news. It's going to be 60 on Friday. Well, I mean, what do you want me to do? Lie to you? I'll put 70 every day next time. God.
Thank you for your commitment.
Yeah. Thank you. Mr. Davis appreciates it. He knows when to bundle up.
Yep.
Here's some wind. Here's some temperature, 20s. Feels like 19 or feels like 70. I don't know. 47, partly cloudy. Southwest breeze 10 to 15. Here's a 60. I don't know if that's good enough for you guys. Get excited. Maybe I'll disappoint you with the 7-day here in a few minutes.
Welcome to the Comedeorological Report, everybody. Good morning, Prince George. Good morning to myself. Even though it's Thursday, the 17th of February, we record the show 2 days beforehand. So you at CFUR 88.7 FM in Prince George, you will be hearing this show on Saturday, the 19th. And everybody in Winnipeg at CKUW 95.9, listen to the show there. You'll be hearing the show on Monday, the 21st of February. So this is your show about how much the weather sucks. It's the Comedeorological Report. I'm Joey Only, and I'm here at a logging camp 200 kilometers west of Quesnel. I got a lot of sun today, so I guess that's why I thought I could get away with just laying in my bed quietly for a few minutes. But yes, it's been quite an adventurous week for us. I'm timber cruising, and we're assessing the quality of some beautiful wood out in the wilderness, and getting to spend my days snowmobiling out in the middle of nowhere in the Chilcotin Plateau. Very good days. How you been doing yourself, Frankie MacDonald? We're here with our team of Comedeorologists. So far, Peter Galanko showed up, and Imogen Cookie Bailey has just showed up. And my apologies, everyone, for sleeping in. Frankie MacDonald, how's your week going over in Sidney, Nova Scotia?
Good so far. And it's really, really windy all across eastern United States and Canada, bringing really, really strong winds. It's going to bring heavy rain all across Sydney, Halifax, Boston, New York, New Brunswick, Portland, Maine, all across Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and all these places in D.C. Caused a lot of tornadoes in Alabama so far. Mississippi, Louisiana. Caused a lot of tornadoes and severe weather. Causing a snowstorm in Kansas. Going all the way down to Texas, bringing cold air all the way down Texas. They're predicting cold air is going all the way to Oregon sometime next week. Down in Mexico, they're getting cold air in Mexico as well, including Mexico City. And up around England, they're getting really, really strong windstorm over in UK, Europe, all across Norway, Finland, Sweden, all across Europe. Russia's extremely cold right now. Even Vladivostok, Russia, North Korea, China, and it's really, really cold in Beijing, China. It was snowstorm in Beijing, China as well in Olympics. Then Japan is really cold there right now. Australia, New Zealand, they're bringing a lot of extreme hot weather. They had thunder, lightning, and hail in New South Wales, Australia somewhere. In South Africa, it's really warm, really hot there right now in South Africa, bringing severe weather in some places. In Argentina, it's really hot, so is Brazil and all these places. Caused a lot of rain in Venezuela and all these places. Like Venezuela, Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile.
Excellent, Frankie.
That is fantastic. So
What? And did you hear about that over in Iran? They get too much restrictions over in China, North Korea, Iran, Cuba.
they have a lot of restrictions on a lot of things there. I have a real quick question about the weather for you, Frankie. You mentioned tornado and snowstorm. What area
Tornado
is that again?
in Arkansas, in Alabama.
Okay. And is there a snowstorm near there?
Snowstorm is in Toronto right now.
Okay, that's not very close. See, I was
In
kind of hoping
Kansas
that they were
City,
in-
it's a snowstorm too. All the way down to Wichita, Kansas, and all these places. They're bringing a lot of snow there right now.
Yeah, I was hoping that it would be a snowstorm and a tornado like neighboring so that they could team up and then siphon some sharks out of a lake. It's a nice lake
That's
sharks
how it's
going,
tornado.
snowstorm. And then tornado launch, a bunch of like sharksicles through a trailer park. You'd be slashing trailers in half.
Over
What
in
is
China,
happening?
internet's completely limited over there. Facebook is completely banned over there.
Yes, sir, it is. Frankie is mentioning that Facebook is banned in some areas because as of this morning, I have been canceled by Facebook. My account, which is 15 years old, has been deleted. The reason for it was not actually given. I signed in and I was met with a blank image, an empty square that would normally hold an image. And they said that something I had posted in 2019 was a violation
That's
of
their
policy,
rule.
but I was not able to see the image
That's
twice.
their rule.
Are you permanent banned, or is it just a 3-dayer?
It looks like it's going to be a permanent one. The submit dispute or request a review, that button was not working. And I did hit the button to request a review. In the meantime, if you Google my name or you look it up on Facebook, you cannot find my account, which is how they delete you. It's that your account's turned off. Normally when you're banned, you can see the banned person's account, but they can't interact. They can sign in, they can look around, they can read the news feed, but cannot like, comment, share, anything like that. I can't, if I sign in, I get a black screen that just says that I'm banned and that a review has been requested, nothing else. I can't see any news feed and no one can see my name on there. I no longer exist on Facebook.
Did you hear about that?
Wow.
Facebook is against a lot of people now. A lot of people are leaving Facebook.
Facebook has been shown to be extremely toxic, particularly to teenagers in terms of mental health. The way that the algorithm is designed, it's designed to be addictive and it is designed for clicks. Ad sales is what funds Facebook, so they need those clicks. They need the longer
A lot of
viewer
teenagers are
attention
leaving
span.
Facebook.
Yep, that's good. It's good. I'm aware that it's a very toxic kind of platform. I still use it quite a lot. I enjoy my time on it. I'm not complaining about my time on there. but it has been shown to be very detrimental to mental health, particularly for fragile people or people who are experiencing a difficult time in their life.
Hey, Pete,
so-
what's going on in Ukraine where Michael Senikoff is at?
So far, it is. Michael was worried the other week, but it looks like as of the other day, Russia scaled down the number of troops on the border. So, hoping that it was just a display of force and that tensions will settle down. And he's all right now, and no news, which is good news.
What about Iran, Syria, and Saudi Arabia?
I don't know what's going on in Iran, Syria,
What kind of
Saudi Arabia right now.
restrictions they have over in Iran?
Oh, they got a lot. They got a lot. It is
You need to wear a
very
mask.
restrictive country with their laws. Beyond COVID, there's all sorts of stuff that is normal in the West that could get you executed over in Iran.
Gay marriage is absolutely not legal. If you're found to be in a same-sex relationship, you can and likely will be put to death. It's not a pretty picture.
Yep, and they do public executions there too. It's not pretty.
No.
In Russia, they put people in jail for life.
They do.
They do.
Not execution, they put people in jail for life.
Meanwhile, in Canada, you get one murder free.
Over in Russia.
Over in Russia? I don't think they give you one free one in Russia. I think they're
No,
a
you
little
get like
stricter
10.
about that over there. Yeah.
Well, if you're Vladimir Putin, then you get an unlimited.
Then you can ride a
pass.
horsey with no shirt on.
Yeah.
Google's banning Cuba.
Interesting fact, Frankie, you were talking about restrictions in internet. In China, one of their official punishments for their social credit system is slowed down internet. So if you are do stuff that is like minor violations of the law or stuff that is frowned upon by their government, they can slow down your home internet as a punishment, is one of the things, in addition to like removing people from public transport and banking and stuff like that. But they use slowed internet as a punishment, which is
What about
interesting.
Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia is a I believe, if I'm not getting it confused with the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia actually still has witchcraft on their books, where they still prosecute mostly instances with women of witchcraft.
So
there's
you
all
might not
sorts of bizarre laws there, double standards.
You might not get banned from Facebook there, Imogen. You might get banned from living.
Oh, yes. If I were to just walk around in public with my natural awesomeness, oh, I'd be put down in a moment. I wouldn't even get to the end of my driveway, man.
Not like Canada, not like the United States, not like
right into the
not like
ground.
Canada,
Not in that way.
not like Canada, not like Canada, not like the United States, not like Europe, not like Russia, not like Australia, not like New Zealand.
No, we have a lot of there are a lot of differences culturally and legally. There's a lot going on here that's very different from the Middle East.
And did you hear about that? They had hail in California area, colder than hail. You had a lot of hail there.
Was it big enough?
Biggest piece.
Did you say in Los Angeles they had a hail?
Yeah.
Wow, that's unusual.
Like
Isn't hail banned there?
That means burning a lot of fossil fuels. A lot of fossil fuels are coming over in China, Russia, Middle East.
Yeah, America too.
Those countries that have big industrial area, they don't have freedom of speech like China, Russia, Middle East.
What about those people from
There are a lot of
Antarctica?
limitations.
I'm still caught up on the slowing
that
down
means that,
people's internet. That's cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah, it's
If you ban me from public
it
transit,
is
that'd be
cruel,
awesome.
yeah.
I mean, who wants to go on public transit anyways? That's horrific. Ban you from public transit, great. You're going to stay at home. At least let you have internet. The worst thing about living in the wilderness and living in places like Wells is how often we lose the internet. And so the power goes out. When the power goes out, one of the worst things is I can't go on Facebook and complain. The power's out. And you're just totally alone with your powerlessness.
Oh my God, they get more rapid freeze all across eastern United States. It's also going to hit Maine, New York, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, going all the way down to Kansas, parts of Oklahoma.
See, I'm still hoping for a frozen Sharknado. snowstorm, tornado, sucking up a bunch of sharks, freezing them. Those fins will become like saw blades. That's what I want to see.
Well, I've been
Frozen
working
That
in the
means
North
snowstorm
Dakota.
in Toronto, Ontario, as in New York this spring coming. It's going to cause a lot of drought in France, Spain, Portugal, mild in UK, stormy at times in Scotland, Belfast, Northern Ireland, including Norway, Finland, Sweden, northwestern Russia, Latvia, and all these places. Going to be stormy at times this spring coming.
Is it true that leprechauns influence the weather in Ireland? I heard they do a funny dance and then they get like, that's when what makes the flowers bloom in spring. Is that true, Frankie?
Weather and things like that because they hide underneath the trees.
Excellent. So they are doing something.
Oh, no storms at a time in Imogen, Russia.
I love Frankie's
Over in
geography.
Yakutsk, Russia. Yakutsk, Russia. And the temperature there is, and it's really, really, really cold right now. It's minus 30 with the wind chill. It's gradually warming up because weather's going to gradually warm up in strange for them. It's above average temperature in Yakutsk.
The internet's been so slow here in camp tonight. Maybe it's because of China,
Hand up.
but basically, not once has anybody's audio and video lined up so far. Like as I'm looking at, so it's like your mouths and your words are totally off, and it's been very difficult to try to run a show when you have extremely slow internet. But look who, speaking of extremely cold weather, I see that we have Gabriel Berardo showed up. We haven't seen this young man for quite a few weeks, and it looks like he's outside standing in the snow there. Hey, in Southern Ontario, Gabriel Berardo, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you.
Well, we had a winter storm. We could possibly be making their way in next week, watching those ones. But well, first of all, this one here measured about 9 centimeters on the, of course, surface so far. Should be, of course, getting around 15 to 25 centimeters. And it's a lot of blowing and drifting snow outside. Roads are covered with snowfall. So if, of course, anybody who lives in Southern Ontario, please, guys, drive safe, guys. A lot of snowfall on the roads. Places to the south, like southwestern parts of the province, have actually seen some of that freezing rain and ice pellets, and that have switched, I think, over a while ago, like hours ago, to snowfall, and it's just piling up here throughout the hours. Still a lot more to go. We have the whole entire night full of snow, and then of course some more cold air and squalls move in this Saturday, and then of course, as I've been saying, we have to of course watch a few more systems heading into next week. Could bring a lot of ice, a lot of snow, a lot of rain. It's pretty uncertain at this point. But while we're watching that, guys, and of course, I got the Weather Network hat on, and I got the trusty lucky. Okay, look, I like to call it a trusty lucky ruler, or a lucky trusty ruler, right? Like it's a great tool to use to measure. Last time, actually, I think the last one that brought over 50 centimeters in the city, that was like a while ago. I'm a lot of snow blowing up, but it's a winter storm, and it's piling up throughout the next few hours. Yeah, not only the lucky ruler, it's the lucky trusty ruler, right? Like I'm ruling the weather, ruling the weather all over Southern Ontario, tracking the weather. So please stay from your. Wait, hold up. So like, oh my God, I messed up my little rap, but it's fine, guys. Go on with what you guys were gonna say. I'm just I'll obviously be on for like a few more like minutes, and then I'll probably join back, because I'm not gonna stay out here for like one whole entire hour in the cold. I'm sorry, but I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna and then I'll hop in again, but safe in your vehicles. There's gonna be a lot of snow, so when you are on those roads, you may just slip on your toes because everybody knows that when the snow's falling on the ground all over your town, you have to watch where you walk. All of that.
Real.
Not gonna address it. Right?
Another weatherman from Russia. He's
He is
another.
here, I mean.
He could start his own YouTube. What happens if he started his own YouTube channel? He'd probably speak English reports in both languages.
So, how is everyone's weather?
Everyone's weather. It's horrible, Imogen. Oh, dressed. Horrible. Imogen's horrible here. It's horrible.
I think you mean great.
I probably got
I mean,
weather out here, which isn't very great. It's 60s and windy station coming, so we got 65 around is the average for foreseeable future. Not too bad.
That's pretty acceptable.
Are you guys able to hear me at all? My internet's been so grindingly slow that for the last number of minutes, I've barely caught anything you said.
If it,
And your faces and your
Catch it.
words aren't lined up.
oh,
And it's like,
well, I mean,
and then you say like all your words at once. And yeah, I'm having a really hard time knowing how to make a radio show out of a non-existent.
So, like,
Well, did everybody see that video from yesterday or the day before in Germany where they had big waves that busted through the window of a ferry?
No, that sounds awful.
Y'all haven't seen that? Look it up. Germany, stormy weather. There was huge waves. I guess it was on a lake or a big river or something. I'm not sure.
That sounds horrifying.
It just smashes
Yeah.
through the front window.
over in Russia, you're not allowed to take pictures of railroads. You're not allowed to take pictures of. You're not allowed to take pictures of government buildings. Over in Russia, don't wear your shoes inside. Don't whistle indoors. Don't leave empty bottles on the table. Don't smile all the time. Don't sit by the corner of the table.
And if there's a full bottle on the table, you're
Don't
supposed to
argue
empty
with
it.
Russian Belaruski.
That's good advice there. And the part about not smiling all
Go
the
to
time
hell.
is true. They find that concerning. There's if you look on YouTube of the video, there's a video of when the first McDonald's opened in Russia, in Moscow. Some of the people who commented on the video,
In Russia, don't smile on public transportation. And in places like North Korea, everything's restricted over there. You're not allowed to know about the outside world,
Oh, yeah.
period.
yeah, they're pretty much blocked off from the internet completely and regular cell phone service and whatnot.
Over in Russia, it's not good to smile. Learn something new every day. So I have like a measuring stick that I carry around, GB. It's a meter, 1.3 meters. And partly what I use it for is for measuring trees. Like, so put a little spray mark on the tree with at the top of the stick. So I know that every time I'm measuring, I add that 1.3 meters. That's part of how you measure the height of trees. But it also has numbers on it for measuring snow depth. So it's frequently something we stop and stick it in the ground. And how deep is the snow? And we've been losing snow like crazy. It's been so warm here that I think we're down to about 35 centimeters in the bush here now. It's been incredibly warm every afternoon.
Wow.
It was terrible to snowshoe in today. It was so soupy and slushy, and it was difficult, but the scenery was just fantastic. I feel so lucky to see what I get to see.
yeah. I mean, wow, it must be nice that you're getting the warm weather there, and everybody else is probably getting warm weather. Even Frankie will be warming up next week. I think should be warming up next week a little bit, not a lot.
Back in January 2020, social distancing and all the other restrictions started in China long before Europe, long before the United States and Canada. That was back in 2020 because of pandemic, because the epidemic started in China in late January 2020. They had to get the people for foreign citizens out of China because of the too many restrictions there. Then the restrictions expanded to Europe in the end of February 2020, which saw people in Europe social distance before North America back in 2020.
Been a full 2 years now. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it's not been that long.
Yeah, no kidding. You're not cuddling with any bears.
I mean, like the other type of bears, yeah, like the actual bears he's cuddling with, but like
I got real sick in winter of January 2019, so wasn't going nowhere anyway.
It's a mostly recovered germaphobe. I was pretty happy to see the social distancing thing come in, where it's no. I think a lot of people take it to an extreme, but realistically, I've always been most of the other restrictions I can live
I think
that and hand washing, seeing people learn how to actually wash their hands.
the whole space thing, I wouldn't mind seeing that stick around. That's
People in Europe are social distancing a month before North America. That was back in 2020.
So when we were all first told to stay indoors, what did you guys do? What kind of things did you take up? What hobbies did you do?
Zoom has started. All different groups of people started Zoom, StreamYard, Skype, things like that.
yeah. One of the things I did was eventually was meet Frankie on the video chats and podcasts and group chats and that sort of thing. But
First,
I was going to be staying inside all 2020, regardless of the weather was big.
I spent.
Hey, Joey, you back in 2020, you stopped traveling with the band because of the pandemic.
No, I'd stopped traveling with my band already a few years before that because of family court, mostly, unfortunately. And then my life did slow down. And when the pandemic started, I drank. I did a lot of drinking. There was, and then I did some more drinking, and then I survived trying to destroy myself and got sober. And in some ways, the pandemic's been really good for me,
That means
And
on
then-
December 31st, 2019, I was at the New Year's Eve dance at the Old Triangle in Sidney, Nova Scotia. Wuhan, China never even had restrictions yet.
Taking social distancing maybe a little too far in that I barely see humans at all anymore. And definitely, I was 200 kilometers from civilization.
In China,
a snowmobile
over in
today.
Wuhan, China, social distancing started in January 2020.
Yeah, Joey's definitely taken social distancing to an extreme. Very
200 kilometers from humans today. There was wild horses out there.
Meanwhile, I just built things for my cat, started going on massive hiking adventures, and turned my house into a gym. I was already kind of a hermit. Okay, now I'm going to climb every mountain and hill around here I can, and I'm going to lift 1 million weights. So, so that was kind of my thing, building stuff for the cat and fitness.
Frankie, do you think you'll be back
It
signing
looked
books
good.
this summer? You were doing that before the pandemic.
The last author signed the books up the Mayflower Mall on March 14th, 2020. Miney Francis, the former Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia. She's the last author to sign copies of her books at the mall. That was the last book signing from Nimbus Publishing. Miney Francis, the former Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia. She was the last person to sign books up the Mayflower Mall. The last person signed a book before a lot of restrictions. That was Miney Francis, former Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia. March 14th, 2020. That's a week before it gradually went into lockdown for the whole week.
Malls over here have been back 100%. When I was Christmas shopping, the mall was completely packed.
Ew.
Is that what we're fighting for freedom for? So that we can all
All
go
the
to the
college
mall?
student online learning.
We need more mall time.
I got news for you. Total solar eclipses heading for Sidney, Nova Scotia on Monday, April the 8th, 2024.
We're gonna be
Nice.
there.
That's going to be cool. Is that the one that you're planning a big party at your place?
That means you'll be going to
I'm
Holiday
good
Inn in
at
Sidney, Nova Scotia
Airbnb,
as
Frankie.
well.
I don't know about everybody else, but I want to book my Airbnb in advance. I looked at Nova Scotia Airbnbs. Y'all have beautiful
All you
locations.
guys will be staying at the Holiday Inn in Sidney, Nova Scotia.
Maybe the holiday.
What about? I'd like to see the eclipse up in the Highlands. Get to like one of those high Cape Breton mountains and park there and watch the solar eclipse and be able to see the ocean from there. I think that'd be just a mind-blowing place to experience it.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I'm in. I want to do it. Holiday Inn or not.
Maybe stay at the Holiday Inn and do a day trip, but then I think for a week or two after that, I'm going to get. There are some really cool coastal Airbnbs in Nova Scotia. There's such beautiful coast on the.
During from April 5th all the way to April 8th on Friday, April 5th. You'll be going to Holiday Inn in Sidney, Nova Scotia. All you guys will be going to Holiday Inn in Sidney, Nova Scotia for total solar eclipse on Monday, April the 8th, 2024.
Sounds like you've already booked it. I find the idea of Airbnbs creepy. Just ever.
Like at the Holiday Inn in Sidney, Nova Scotia, you'll be staying there.
I've stayed at a lot of Airbnbs before. A lot of them are places that people are like primarily rent out. So it's like you don't have like family photos up on the walls and stuff usually.
Yeah, I still find the idea of that creepy. I've heard from a couple of people where they're like, oh, I'm going to go over to whatever city for a week or so and I'll just get an Airbnb. And they're like, yeah, it was a room in some guy's house. It's kind of weird. Or like, yeah, they had kids there. And really, I know your criminal record.
Well, there's shared Airbnbs where you just get a room of somebody's house or apartment, and then you can rent an entire house or apartment.
Okay.
I rented like for my birthday in 2017 when I had a bunch of Bitcoin. I rented a mansion out in Colorado, and everything was awesome. And then in Spain, I rented like 5 different Airbnbs out there.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could like really. I guess it makes sense to pick the type of residence. I've never used it. I just find the idea of being in someone else's place kind of weird. Same with like just a standard bed and breakfast. Find it weird.
Yeah,
You should try living in a logging camp.
A lot of them are.
Try living in a logging camp. Yeah, I mean they cook your food for you. And the food's really great. And I think that my next door neighbor on the wall here, probably keeping him awake, and the smell of my farts is probably going through the vent into his room. And but hey, they pay us to be here. That's the good thing, right? I get paid just to be here on top of my work pay and my dental benefits and all that cool stuff
That's
I'm getting. Yeah, it's a win. Totally a win. But yeah, the logging camp, it's totally romantic. A lot of farting guys. I'm not the only one.
You and a bunch of bears.
Farting old men.
Over in Wuhan, China.
Make that sound delightful.
Over in Wuhan, China, people are socially distanced in Wuhan, China in January and February. That's few months before North America in 2020.
Now, was it easier to social distance because everyone just thought that the guy next to him smelled weird?
It's COVID-19.
Oh, okay. So they smelled like COVID-19.
It's COVID-19. It's the government. It's not the people. It's their government.
That's fair. I just find it's easier to stay away from people when they smell bad. So anytime, like, if I'm at work and the guy next to me smells bad, I don't want to stand beside him. It's easier to just step away.
Then he have to get in the shower first.
See, I don't understand
I don't
because
want to get in the shower with random people.
Every partner I had would be like, "You smell great right now," and I'd be like, "I stink right now." So I'm really confused.
Well, I mean, if they're really into you, then they're really going to like that funk.
Another country, Belarus, is a bad country too. Russia, Belarus. That means you can't take pictures of military property.
Belarus, you a bad country.
Good point.
Can't take pictures of army bases, Air Force bases, naval bases because it's against the government.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you.
I was just planning to go to Belarus, but maybe I'll change my mind now.
Which countries are next to Belarus?
Russia and Poland.
Russia and Poland.
And Ukraine.
And
Ukraine.
Food.
Well, I might be out there. I was thinking Serbia, and then my buddy's out in Ukraine. If things settle down in Ukraine, I really want to go out there, go to Kiev, maybe Belarus.
Latvia and Lithuania. Latvia is right next to Belarus, so is Lithuania.
Croatia has just like the Greek islands, have some beautiful Mediterranean coast out there.
Yeah, it'd be good to see it all before Russia blows it up.
Yeah, they better not. My buddy that Frankie always asks about is right there on the border, more inland than where the previous disputed land has been, which is what I'm hoping is that they moved the U.S. Embassy from Kiev to Lviv, which is far west in Ukraine, but that was a little bit worrisome because Kiev's right in the middle of Ukraine, and Crimea Peninsula, and then there was some other land northern of the Crimea Peninsula, but that was all coastal land, which is part of the water route from the Mediterranean into Russian ports. So I figure that's why Russia took Crimea and those other places, because they wanted to control the land on the coast that was pretty much blocking between them and the Mediterranean. So I'm hoping they don't mess with the inland Ukrainians, but they have they have a little bit of blood feud going on just because there's been over 10,000 casualties in that conflict.
You're overthinking it. It wasn't about that. It was about the food. They want their own personal food court. Ukrainian food is so good. And if you could have your own personal kitchen, series of kitchens, a whole country that makes the most amazing food, would you not want that? On-demand cabbage rolls. They're the most brilliant thing ever.
Are you allowed to watch pornographic movies in Belarus, Frankie?
Not in some countries, they're not allowed to do that. Not like Canada, not like the United States, not like UK, not like European Union, nor Australia, New Zealand. Some countries got their own. They're not allowed to do that at all. It's like a dictatorship countries, especially Middle East.
Yeah, I know Turkey's one of them. My friend did a study abroad in Turkey. It was banned there. And I think it's technically banned in China, but not really that harshly enforced.
There's no pornos in Turkey?
No porn in Turkey. Nope.
No, you got to come here for Turkey.
And did you hear? But
yeah, they do.
Every corporation has their own rules. Every major company has their own rules.
Yep, they do.
I think turkey porn is one of their rules. No turkey porn.
Facebook. You wouldn't even tell me what I was banned for. It's ridiculous. I think I might have sent Joey a screenshot of it, or I know I sent a screenshot to Frankie, and it's literally no image. It says a date of a post. It says an image I posted, but it doesn't show the image.
It said 2019. You said?
Yes, sir.
Mark Zuckerberg is against that.
Well, every time there's a policy change, they sweep the platform for previous posts that would be a violation of the new change. There's no grandfather on it. But instead of sending you a notice that says this is now against policy, remove it or face penalty, when the algorithm finds it, you get a notice that says you posted something that violates policy, now you're banned. You can dispute it.
I wonder if
it's not
words in the algorithm that flagged it, or somebody was creeping on your profile looking back to 2019 posts and flagging it.
Well, I know that the algorithm has found quite a few
profile is going to want to
post.
shut down.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Haters are they are their own animal. But I mean, the oldest post I got roasted for it. So something that had been on my page for that long, and the algorithm found it. It's not the kind of thing anyone is going to report, because you wouldn't think that it's any possible violation of policy. But I got banned for like a month or something for a post that was that old. So thanks, Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm happy about it.
I got banned twice for calling myself white
changes
trash.
in a few days. That surprises me. I've had way more trouble with Twitter than Facebook. I've had temporary bans on Facebook before, but only permanent bans on Twitter, like 5 accounts.
The wood spider is the most accomplished of all web-building species. Recently, scientists gave these tiny creatures a variety of psychoactive drugs to observe their effects on web building. When given a minute dose of LSD, the spider's web took on an unfamiliar, minimalist structure. When given caffeine, the web structure was not affected, but the spider's behavior was. Given THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, the spider didn't build a web. It built a hammock, where it lay all day and watched the caffeine spider go. When given alcohol, the spider built a web, found a mate, and raised over 100 young. But the mate got a restraining order, and now the spider can't go within 100 centimeters of the web. The crack cocaine spider figured building webs was for suckers, waited till the caffeine spider was exhausted, then came up behind it and popped a cap in its ass. Nice web, Mr. Crack Spider. When winter came, the marijuana spider had no place to live. It ended up in the crack web as the crack spider's bitch. For more information on the crack spider's bitch, contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa.
Over.
Awesome.
And what about in Russia, in China?
So getting banned is a little different over there.
Yeah, is there
Most of the
pornos in
Russians are
Turkmenistan?
on VK instead of Facebook. Like in China, they're on Weibo or whatever it's called. In Russia, they're on VK rather than
maybe it's the
Facebook.
Chinese Twitter. And what does VK stand for? I never remember that one.
I don't know. I just see that show up on random stuff sometimes. Or Ruski's post.
Is there pornos in Turkmenistan?
You can make an account on there.
There better be.
Turkmenistan is a really strict country too.
They don't have any Facebook in Turkmenistan.
Hey, Frankie, can you turn your lava lamp on? I mean, I'm sure we're going to be wrapping up fairly soon, but I mean, can you turn it on for like the next show? I want to see
I
your
got
lava
so
lamp
much-
like start bubbling lava at some point. We won't have time
That
today.
means
but
my Twitter is at Frankie McD. My
We do
Facebook
have
is Frankie
time.
MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie McD 1984.
we do
My
it.
TikTok is Frankie MacDonald 1984. My clapper is Frankie MacDonald 1984. My Twitch is Frankie MacDonald 1984. My Snapchat is Frankie MACDON. My LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald, and my YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves.
Problem was that so
On
much of
Frankie's
the
YouTube channel, you can see a guy eating millions of things.
the problem is that so much of the episode was lagging that I'm worried that we don't even have great sections of our conversation even recorded whatsoever. And it seems to be sort of back to I can't seem to see your faces moving, but at least I can hear your voices again. So we're getting some quality content here. It's Fun Drive on CKUW 95.9 FM. And I was just hoping to have a stellar, amazing, fantastic show. But it turns out I'm 200 kilometers out in the wilderness, and I'm lucky to have internet whatsoever. That's the thing. And but hey, I mean, it's not Turkmenistan here, at least.
Fair enough. With their limited porn. Disappointing.
Turkmen. The Turkmen people, that is one of the weirdest countries going, man. Read about the dictator of Turkmenistan sometimes. He's like one of those guys who just defies reality in every way. Just if it's, you drop an apple and it falls to the ground and you're like, hey, look, it's gravity. He'd be like, no, it's not. Reality
I'll have to
has
look that up. I don't know anything about that country.
Has no bearing.
Nobody
Reality
knows
doesn't
anything
exist.
about it. He just decides what reality is, even though it's like so obviously not. Like I think he named
Who did someone like that? That was messed up.
he named the months of the year after himself. So now, like in Turkmenistan, they don't have January, February, March. So here's 5 weird laws and bans from Turkmenistan for you. Just gotta wait for the very slow internet to open the page. Turkmenistan, also known as Turkmenia, is the post-Soviet country located in Central Asia. It's the second biggest country in the region after Kazakhstan, but it's the least populated country in Central Asia with about 6 million people.
Turkestan, Kyrgyzstan, that's in southern former USSR.
Citizens of Turkmenistan are prohibited to use the majority of foreign websites and smartphones. That includes Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, VContact, which I've never even heard of, and Vimeo.
That's it. Be contact.
20 bizarre facts about Turkmenistan. It's the most bizarre country in the world. My internet was come on, crazy slow internet. I'm trying to learn about Turkmenistan.
Damn it, we must learn about our Turkmenistanians.
It's since 1991 ruled by President Sapir Murat Niyazov until he died of a heart attack. Then the next was President Gurbanguly Berdi Mukademeyadov. Can't even say the guy's name. It's one of the most repressive countries in the world with a one-party government and President Berdi Mukademeyadov's dictatorship style. Oh yeah, they have this place called Hell's Gate. It's like a big center of attraction. And what it is, it's like a burning bunch of oil and whatnot and gas and stuff. It's like this huge pit that's just burning forever, and they call it Hell's Gate. Look it up. He's closing.
Like the Springfield tire fire.
Sounds interesting.
The young people aren't allowed to grow beards.
it.
There's no black cars. There's a record-breaking fascination for setting world records. It's one of the least visited
I have
countries
a
in the world.
beard.
It's 80% desert. So then you have the Hell's Gate, a man-made disaster I was just talking about here. It's famously known It's not a natural phenomenon, but the result of a natural gas drilling expedition gone horribly wrong. In 1970, the Soviet scientists were drilling for natural gas, but accidentally their equipment fell into the sinkhole, causing the escape of natural gas. The geologists decided to light it up in the hope that it would burn out after a few days. That was more than 50 years ago. The fire is yet to be put out. It has destroyed the wildlife around it. The gates of hell.
No
The
kidding.
capital city,
There's a
Ashgabat,
show on-
is having the highest number of white marble buildings in the world. It's got the world record for marble buildings. So there's some pretty beautiful things there. But yeah, basically you got to learn about
I
this.
was just looking at that city on Airbnb. There's only 7 Airbnbs in the entire city. They're not even that great.
I'm trying to find more about this dictator. He's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it sounds pretty. There was a show on Netflix where the host, he travels to areas that are largely considered like dangerous places or undesirable travel destinations, just because travel's not really promoted for there, and there's a lot of weird cultural quirks. And I'm pretty sure Turkmenistan was one of the ones he went to, and there's like, I want to say there's like a weird kind of a lot of social choreography was going on. It was really fascinating to see. No idea what the show's called, so good luck.
But I can't seem to find an article right now that confirms what I'm saying. But he basically named all the months of the year after himself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he ordered the impounding of black cars in the capital. He considered the color white to be lucky. So you couldn't have police seize dark-colored vehicles in Ashgabat, and their owners were told they must pay to have them repainted silver or white. In July 2018, he appeared in a rap video with his grandson. He previously lifted weights on camera and acted as a DJ. If you see this guy, this guy's in a rap video.
What
No
the
photos
hell?
in Turkmenistan.
Oh, they're there. They're just not allowed. One thing you'll never remove from entertainment is porn. It will always exist.
Pretty great that way. My internet connection is unstable.
There were British Museum, who owns a lot of there's a show called Sex in the Ancient World. It was produced by the History Channel. It may or may not be available on YouTube. And then Pompeii. And there's some pretty wild stuff because they show a lot of stuff that had been excavated that's not common knowledge that it's there, but it was basically old world porn. It was pretty cool. It's a really fascinating show.
The Romans were just crazy about it. They just had festivals of people banging things.
Yeah, they're legendary for it.
The Romans knew how to party.
That's what the toga was designed for.
I guess so. And if you weren't good at it, you'd end up in a gladiatorial ring, getting eaten by tigers. What was his crime? He wasn't good at sex. He's a Roman. Put him in the tigers. Frankie, were you allowed to go on Facebook in ancient Rome?
Yeah, I was on Facebook in China, Iran, Syria, and North Korea.
Ancient Rome was okay.
It's a long time ago.
I suppose. They only had MySpace back
Facebook
then.
didn't even exist back then.
Yeah. I mean, when did they even make Facebook?
They only had MySpace.
And before MySpace, they had ICQ.
Caesar friended me. Yes. I'm on Caesar's top friends list. So it's gonna be difficult trying to figure out how to make a show with what's happened here tonight with the internet lagging so hard, and it's finally kind of coming back just in time to be like, wow, I probably have enough. I think, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, like, I'm sometimes lucky to have internet at all out here, but then again, maybe what's happening is, according to Frankie, China may be punishing me with slow internet because they do that. That's what Pete says, at least. Did you hear that one, Gabriel? They make people have slow internet.
Well,
Really?
Yeah. The provider will throttle your account.
I haven't heard that.
You haven't joined. That's what if you're not if you're designated as on the naughty list by the CCP party, they'll slow down your home internet as a punishment.
Oh, Frankie was, I guess, right then. I mean, he's really smart with that stuff. So I was assuming that Frankie's right because he knows that stuff.
Everybody would have internet.
That's
as
like
slow
a
as
great
me,
fact. Yeah, that's.
and Imogen's internet would be super slow.
Well, I am
There is
Internet
sorry,
criminal.
Wi-Fi.
Joey. Your internet was made in China.
Well,
Your internet
one
was made in
time
China.
I was in Shenzhen, China, and I got up at the morning and walked outside to smoke a cigarette, and there was a police officer outside, and he just took the phone right out of my hand to read my text messages,
Oh.
and then gave the phone back. I was like kind of awkward, but then he read my text, and I was able to say a little bit and be like, business, and he was like, oh, okay, and then he was cool.
Maybe he just liked you.
No
Yeah,
privacy.
that's weird. Yeah, maybe he had a crush on you. Who knows?
That's how they do it when you're a policeman in China. You take someone's phone. It's like when you push a girl into the snow at school when you're a kid because you actually like her. Well, a Chinese policeman takes your phone and looks at it. That's what they do.
I guess so. I must not have got the
He
hint.
was hoping for nudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going
Yeah, and
through
all
your
the
pictures,
cops pull over people that they
Can't
like
blame
through
them.
for no reason.
trying to see if you've gone on any pornos lately.
Yeah.
Not like Canada, not like US, not like Europe.
It's really easy to star in a porno there.
Calling
Been
from what?
there, done that, eh? Oh, I like, yeah, there we go. My screen keeps freezing and it froze with me scratching my back. And it's like, oh, look at my face. It's awful. I got like the worst hair ever because it just
Oh,
keeps
well.
growing. And I can't stop it. I want it to stop. I'm like, I even yell in the mirror. I'm like, hair, stop it. But it doesn't stop and
Well,
keeps growing. And soon I'm going to look like a hippie or something. It's terrible.
Ew.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like that your screen is frozen on my end. Your screen is frozen on my end, so I can't see that.
Yeah, it's just
Sorry
everything's
about that,
frozen.
Joey. I'm sorry that Wi-Fi is bad. Yeah.
One thing I'll tell you about the place I'm living in is everything is frozen. Amazing. And we want that cold weather because like today I went over a body of water that didn't seem frozen enough on the snowmobile. So I went faster. That's what you do. We got like over an hour and 10 minutes, so hopefully I can make enough of a show out of this. You've been listening to the Comedeorological report
Sure,
on
you're going friction thing, maybe.
CFUR 88.7 FM. I'm wearing the CFUR t-shirt right now, by the way. CFUR 88.7 FM in Prince George. But if you're listening to us in Winnipeg and you've been maybe hearing about the fund drive to support CKUW 95.9 FM, they've been trying to raise $60,000 to support the radio station, which I don't see as should be hard. I mean, we've seen in Canada that you can raise $10 million just like that. If, you know, so we just got to we're going to rebrand CKUW Freedom Radio, and then we'll get 10 million bucks just like that. It's that easy. All you got to do is put the word freedom on it in
Sponsored
Canada.
by
That easy.
of Turkmenistan.
Yes, just in fact, support this show. It's the Freedom Comedeorological Report. It's the show about comedy, meteorology, and freedom. We're your show about. If you don't like our show, you don't like freedom. So that's the thing, right? You want to like freedom. So like our show.
Bears.
Yeah. And if you want to see the video version of the show, which
None of those Russians want to join your Facebook group.
no Russians will join my
Yeah, that's
Facebook
funny.
group. That's true. If you want to see the video version of the show, you
It's
can
funny.
see it on YouTube. Although I suspect this week it'll be mostly frozen faces, and I'll do my best to do something about that. Maybe I'll just put actual pictures of our faces in. That's the thing. When you're making a radio show, you're not supposed to care about everyone's face freezing. And speaking of face freezing, I just got my dental benefits with my company, so I can't wait for an old degenerate punk rocker redneck like me. Getting teeth work done is going to be amazing. So it's a big step in my life towards becoming an adult, is having a job that takes care of me a little.
Now you're a big boy.
And, I've been a big boy for a long time. I'm just really good at. Well, it's like I owned my own house. I didn't really have to work. Life was good. Then the judge is like, "Well, you gotta pay your kid's mom." You know, I was like, "Oh yeah, about that, I'll get a job and then keep it."
God damn
You know,
it.
so I've done good at that this last few years, keeping jobs, and more people being like, "Will you work for us?" I'm like, well, sorry, I've already got 3 jobs. I can't wait for forest fire season. It's going to be great. Yeah, I mean,
Hell
Riding
yeah,
around in a snowmobile is
bro.
awesome, but riding around in a helicopter, even cooler. You've been listening to the Comedeorological Report. I'm Joey Only out here in the Chilcotin Wilderness. We'll hopefully see you next week, and hopefully we'll get a better show. If you're in British Columbia, have a great Family Day weekend. That's all I got to say for now. Bye-bye.
Tonight, after nearly 3 years as a weekend fill-in weather person / reporter, I'm going to be ending my position here at Fox 28. Now, my goal has always been to be a full-time broadcast meteorologist and be on the air on a nightly basis. But unfortunately, being in the right person in the right place at the right time is part of this TV game that I have not yet been able to master. It was my intention to stay on as a full-time forecaster, and although I am grateful for the opportunity to be here on weekends, to continue in the present capacity just would only serve to say that I am in agreement and satisfied, but it's just not the case. Basically, after 13 years of striving to grab the whole pie, it's no longer possible to keep settling for just a taste of the crumbs. And I want to thank the people that I work with, the folks here in the studio and the back room, and especially want to thank my colleagues in the business and especially the staff at the Michiana Regional Airport and the National Weather Service that try to work as closely with them as possible. And I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for watching and for the kind words you've had for me out on the streets when we might meet. In time of active weather, I hope I did you right with some good information, and when the weather was a little slow, maybe made you smile every once in a while. Mostly, I'd like to thank God for helping me do this job and for allowing me to forecast His weather. This is my last weekend show, but the plan is for me to be here one more night tomorrow night, so I hope and pray that my last few forecasts here with you will be good ones.